Hello again, fantasy football family, and welcome back to OG Fantasy Football. Week 2 is in the books. One of your hosts had a devastating week and has plummeted all the way down to 9th place. Your other host is as giddy as a schoolgirl because he had a monster week and he's catapulted into first place, the fabled catbird seat. Johnny, how's the view from up there, brother?
Guess who's back? It's good. I
Oh,
love it. I love it. I told my family tonight at dinner, I said, life is short. You got to revel. And, I said, it's a long season. I may not be here long, but while I am,
you take a screenshot of that, Johnny. You look at it right before you go to sleep. You look at it all week because you don't know how long it's going to last.
mm,
That's just how big a swings. I know it's only week 2. Some of you are 2-0, you're 0-2, you're 1-1. I just went from 3rd all the way to 9th. And what place were you in last week? Catapulted. Boom. First place. Just like that. There's no head-to-head in this league. Congratulations,
mm,
Johnny. I'm
thank you
happy
very
for you.
much.
I'm not so happy about my week, but you know what? Let's focus on the positive. We got another Bills victory. Oh, and it was resounding. The fish were adequately squished.
They were squished. And Josh didn't even have to play hard.
No, he didn't. We don't need to see hero ball from him. Not
But
great for our dear sweet Ken Way of the ass kickers because he did not have a big fantasy week from his beloved Josh Allen quarterback, but we'll take the W. And my
and
goodness,
James did cook.
they let James cook. Johnny, we both said that was a reach when he went. We've been wrong all season. I did not think James Cook was capable of a 36 point week, but here he is looking fantastic, looking like a young Marshall Falk out there. Whatever it takes to get the W's. Johnny, I want to just pause for a second and discuss our part of this Bills game scenario. Now, you know Brian Dunkleman, the podcast host. You know Brian, the comedian, the actor, the former television host. But what do you know about Brian Dunkleman, the man? Well, let's talk about it a little bit here because my girlfriend of 1 year, Johnny, we just had our 1 year
Oh,
anniversary.
happy
We
anniversary.
decided, thank you very much. We decided to re up for another year. No commitment. We can both cancel at any time with no penalty, but it's going well. We're going to do it for another year. She and her best friend have been wanting to take a vacation. So her friend took some time off and they went to New York City. Now, when did her friend take the time off? Right in time to miss the first Bills game, the debate, and the second Bills game. Thanks a lot, Alice. So on Wednesday of last week, she calls me and she's like, listen, I'm exhausted. We've been gone too long. I'm going to try and get an earlier flight because she was going to get in about midnight. I thought, perfect. They're on the East Coast. You fly back. She'll get in early afternoon. I'll pick her up because that's what you do. The boyfriend picks you up from the airport. Now, the 4 a.m. drive to the airport on the flight, that's more of a family situation. Her friend's dad took him. That's family. But I'm the man. I come and get you. So she's like, oh, I got to wait. I got to wait until 24 hours before. And then they said, call and I'll see if I can get an earlier flight. She texted me. She said, I got an earlier flight. I'm thinking, great. I said, what time do you land? She types 5:10 and I wince. Johnny, I wince in pain because what time's the Bills game start? 5:15 again.
Ah,
Thanks a lot, Alice. Oh, so you know what? Here's the problem. I thought, ooh, the game is on Amazon Prime. This is great because they have a function. You can start, join live, or start from the beginning. Problem is, Johnny, lost the TV remote. Couldn't
ha,
find it. And once you turn over upside down
yes.
your 1 bedroom apartment, you just stop looking because it's not anywhere that makes any sense. Johnny, I looked in the freezer. Look, we call it medicine out here. You know what I'm talking about. I found my wallet in the freezer, cold hard cash. So I gave up and I'm panicking. I texted Jackson at 5:10 because it takes an hour to get to the airport. And I said, can you push play? Oh, I can't figure it out. I'm like, listen, boy, I know you're only 11, but you got to come through for your father here. He not only did he figure it out, he rewound it to right at the beginning of the game and he saved it. And he didn't watch. He waited for his father. God bless you, Jackson. So I picked the girls up. And about an hour into the hour and 20-minute ride home, I look over and I say, well, I guess this is proof that you're actually more important than a Bills game. What? No. Oh, I can't believe. How many times did I tell you, woman? You knew it. You need to write this stuff down. So anyway, we got home. She took a shower. I said, I got pizza and wings if you want it, if you're hungry. She's like, oh, yeah. She comes over, watches almost the entire game with me. And on the way home, she's looking, I know what the score is. Don't say a word. Not a word. Well, it's good. Don't, you just gave me information. I don't want to know if it's good or bad. Don't talk. So it was a beautiful victory. And just before the fourth quarter, we went up 31-10. And I said, all right, now she's getting sleepy. I haven't seen her in 13 days. You know what's coming. We got to wrap this up and get her over there before she falls asleep because I got business to take care of. When it was 31-10, I said, we won, right? She's like, yes. And do you want to know? That's the last score. And I immediately said, good night, Jackson. Brush your teeth and put yourself to bed. Daddy's going across. She lives in the building, Johnny. I'm a good father. We can see him through the window. It's not an issue. So she got to watch the game. The Bills got a victory. I fulfilled my duties and picked her up at the airport, and everything is fine. I said, you got a date next Monday night. We got 3 primetime games in a row, Johnny. What happened to the Bills on Sunday morning? Easy like Sunday morning. It's not so easy anymore because our beloved Bills are too hot. They're sexy. They play at night. Bills after dark. It's what's for dinner. The point total of the week went to our dear friend, Carl Northrup. What's his team name now? Is he still the Mansfield Mob?
He's still the
With
mob.
a phenomenal 97-point week for the $50. Congratulations, Losi. Very nice. And headlining his team. John, I'm taking a look right now. There's a big number jumping out. Oh, welcome back to the NFL, Alvin Kamara. Alvin, this is what I wanted when I drafted you in the first round 2 years ago when I was sitting right next to my best friend, John Burrell. And I was going to take Derrick Henry the whole time. And right before I said, I'm going Kamara. And he shit the bed. 45 points in one game, Johnny.
Did you have on your bingo card for this early in the season, Carr, Kamara, and Mayfield?
Yeah, you know what? The top 2 quarterbacks in the league, just like we all predicted, David Carr and Baker Mayfield.
We'll get to Baker. We'll get to Baker in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get to Baker in a bit. So Carl with an unbelievable,
great week.
Only one of his skill positions. QB. Yeah, I know. CJ Stroud, who he got late in the draft, had 9 points. Only one of his players, a skill position, did not score, and that's White from Tampa Bay. I do believe he's got an injury, but Kamara with 3 rushing touchdowns and that monster, the 24-pointer, the coveted 24-pointer, and we're going to get to something that has to do with that in a second. I forgot. I'm burying the lead. Justin Jefferson has decided he's going to score touchdowns this season, much to the chagrin of Kenway of the Ass Kickers, who drafted him, I think, at the 11, 12, 13 turn last year. Did shit. He's got 2 touchdowns already, a nice bomb, a 97-yarder, John. That seems like it should be more than 12 points. Nico Collins. Nico. Sounds like a Greek shipping heir. 9 points from him. CD Lamb has got 12 points. And then Kicker, the Dicker, the Kicker, 10 points. For a sweet, sweet week of 97. And Johnny, his bench outscored 42. Me by over double. Calvin Ridley with 30 points because he had a coveted 24. He could have had 2 24-pointers. Unfortunately, one of them on his bench. 30 from Ridley. And then Rice. Who is that? It's not Ray Rice. Is Ray Rice playing again? Did he stop punching chicks in elevators?
No.
Rashid. You know, I mix up Rashid and the kid from New Orleans. Is it Rashid Shaheed? I don't know. Rashid Shaheed. They should combine them into one awesome player. But that is a huge bench total, 42 points. And by the way, there's been a team change name. Johnny, I don't know. I can't talk tonight. Hold on. I got to take a sip of my cranberry flavored White Claw Surge. That'll get me right.
Is sponsored by White Claw.
As always, we're going to keep doing it. They're not paying us anything, but I'm plugging you. By the way, 2 new flavors, green apple and pineapple. Oh my God, disgusting. Guys, get back in the lab and come up with something than green apple and pineapple. You're marketing this to men like me. I'm the perfect spokesperson. Stop trying to make the chicks happy. Although I like that watermelon. That watermelon is my favorite, but I don't mess around with 5%. I don't have time for 5%.
I'd like to say, in my own defense, as co-host of the show, that I have never had a White Claw of any variety or flavor.
Well, God bless you. It's because you live in Maine and they beat the shit out of you and then export you from the state. I think I mentioned that on my last drunken Zoom with Tommy Lizotte of the Tom Lizottes. And he said, if I see you drinking a White Claw, I'm going to punch you in the fucking face. So I got that to look forward to in Houston. We put the White Claw away. We drink whiskey like a man because I'm in a different time zone than my girlfriend. She doesn't like me boozing, John, but that's okay. New team name for me. I named my team the 6 Point Sallies. John, I'm very into quantum mechanics. I don't pretend to understand it, but it's kind of like art. I know what I like. When you put something out there, you increase the odds that it's going to happen. You draw it to you like a magnet. 6 Point Sallies. And then what happens? My first 2 touchdowns of the week, 6-pointers. I said, I am not going to be the architect of my own destiny with a 6 Point Sally shit. So I changed my name. We might put a musical drop into here. The 24-Pointer Sisters.
Jump,
that's right.
Oh, my love.
And bam, 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 bam. I'm just talking, doing the neutron dance. I texted my girl that. She's like, what do you mean sisters? And I said, I showed her a YouTube link of the neutron dance. She was just in diapers when Axel Foley was out here in the streets of Beverly Hills, sticking bananas in exhaust pipes. So I am the 24-Pointer Sisters. And that's where it's all going to turn around. I'm going to draw those 24-pointers. I'll take one of Carl's. Carl's burning them on the bench. Give them to me. I'll put them to use. Johnny, who had the second best week? Do you recall?
This guy. The shit
And
sucker.
why? Who led?
John
Who headline? Does he panic when Jordan Love goes down for possibly 3 to 4 to 5 weeks? No. What's he do? He waiver wire, and we go whoever lowest points gets the top waiver. It's socialism. Deal with it. We love you, Bernie. We don't know where you went, but you got screwed. So you picked up. Who'd you pick up, John?
Baker Mayfield. And Baker had a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown. And Baker got me 30 points. Thank you very much, Baker.
Points. A 41-point bomb.
Might be the only week you're starting for me because it's rumored that Jordan might be loving himself back into the lineup.
Well, I got to tell you, I'd be Jordan loving those 30-point weeks. What Baker have last week? 27. You don't want to, you're going to sit that hot hand? John, it's not all positive because as I go down, I see Breece Hall with an 18-pointer. That's why you draft him in that number 5 slot. That's how you draft him. But what? Oh, no, his backup had how many? 27 points from his backup.
But where is he?
I don't even know his name. What's his first name? I see B. Allen. That's all it is.
It's B.
It's B. Allen. He'd be having 27 points on your bench.
Yeah, he's on my bench. He's not on anybody else's team. He's going to sit there. And
yeah. But could this be my old strategy from, I think, maybe 18? I think it was longer than, I think it was over 20 years ago because I remember being in Toronto listening to the Miami game on the radio when I was dancing a young Nancy Boak back in the day. And I had Ernest Biner and Keith Byers from the Miami Dolphins, both running backs. I started him. Could we be looking at a resurgence of that ridiculous strategy with you starting 2 New York Jets this time from the AFC East? You got to be thinking about it.
We shall see. We shall see. But my man Kyron Williams got me 6 points. DK Metcalf had a big bomb, 56 yards for a 12-pointer. And Group stuck with me for the week with 8.
Group hug.
And hey, gotta love a defensive special team score this early in the season. 9 points from the Chiefs.
We don't like to see it. The Chiefs scoring any touchdowns, but boy, when you pick up that defense, you those 9 points are sweet. For 83 for the week. Congratulations, Johnny. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
I don't wallow in my disappointment. I'm happy for my buddy. It's a long season. Let's go over one more because we had another pretty good week from the Southpaws. Our dear friend Steve Lumpy Kears. Don't remember what his face looks like. It's been that long since I've seen him. We'll look at an old picture. But Kyler Murray, boy, they came to life at the right time, right after they played the Bills.
It sure did.
all through the air. That's not what you expect from Kyler Murray. You expect those sweet double point rushing touchdowns, but he started storming with a 60-yarder and I do believe a 23-yarder, both to Marvin Harrison, who my dear sweet friend Stanley Ullman of the Deadheads. He he texted me the night before. Hey, Dunk, I'm gonna start the Reed. No, I'm gonna start Harrison. But if Harrison doesn't, if Reed plays, put Reed in. I said, well, it looks like Reed is gonna play. So why don't I just put Reed in? If Reed's out, I'll switch it to Harrison. He's like, all right, it sounds. I'm like, why can't you? I can't get up that early. 10 a.m.
Are you putting in his starting lineup? Are you
No,
his
but
accountant?
he asks me to look. Stanley and I have been friends for a long time. He cannot get up before 10 a.m. Listen, it's your life, Stanley. It's your lifestyle. I said, well, what time do you go to bed? Between 5 and 6. What are you doing? You're sleeping through football? What are you watching at 5 a.m.? So I texted him after the second touchdown. I said, boy, I bet you wish I'd have slept. I had overslept. Indeed, I do. Indeed, I do. God bless you,
Indeed.
Stanley. Zach Chardonnay, a crisp California Chardonnay, had 6 points. Zach Moss got blanked. Tyreek Hill got blanked. Boy,
Yeah,
you know
but
what?
he had some good points. What about what? Go ahead, Tyreek.
Well, I was just going to say that my son is going to a brand new school. He's in middle school, and all the kids in his grade were all saying Miami's going to kick it because he's a proud Buffalo Bills fan. I did it right. I was patient with him. He had his little Rams fantasy when he was running around. I'm a Rams fan, and they won the Super Bowl. And I'm like, shut up. 9 years. It took you 9 years to celebrate a Super Bowl win. I'm going to make you. You're going to be a long-suffering Buffalo Bills fan. I'm not going down alone. I'm going to ruin your life too. And now he's a diehard Bills fan. And he said, oh, the kids think that the Miami's going to win because of Tyreek Hill. Yeah? Tyreek, one word. Comply. Comply. Karma's a bitch, isn't it? Isn't it? Respect police officers. What did he have? He had like 20 yards. He had nothing from our shambles of a secondary in the preseason. Oh, the Bills lost everybody. They lost their safeties. Yeah, we didn't lose shit, did we? Because we crushed them. They gave up. By the way, Tatua seems like a sweet kid. Nobody wants to see massive head injuries like that. And I don't know. When do you walk away? Bradshaw didn't, and he's just fine. How many concussions do you think they had back in the 70s that they just put them back in the game? You know what they used to call a concussion? Getting your bell rung. Shake it off, get the smelling salts, get back in there. Do a shot of whiskey. They did a shot of whiskey on the sideline, and then they put them back in there. That's the way real men used to play this game. But we hope Tua's okay. Honestly,
I had smelling
retire.
salts on the bench of my Pee-wee team.
Pee-wee and midget. They still call it midget. We don't care. We're not politically correct in Cattaraugus County. What are you going to do? Are there any midgets in? I remember the midget house in Allegheny. Do you remember driving by them? There's the midget house, everybody. And we
sure
all
did.
had a good chuckle over it. And now you can't call them midgets. I don't care. Doesn't matter. I don't think any of them watch this show. Chris Godwin with a 12-pointer. Look at that. Baker Mayfield just spreading the love. Spreading the love. Amon Artie Ramadan St. Brown didn't have any points, but he got back into the flow with, I believe, 10 catches. He had a good game. And one of the MVPs of the season, Aubrey. And Aubrey is his name. 17! And then a sweet 9-pointer from the Bills.
The
74.
That guy is undrafted. And he's
Aubrey.
got 2 picks. Not Aubrey.
Oh no, what's his name? Who had that? And didn't he fail a drug test? I saw some kind of meme.
I don't know about that, but undrafted, and now because of injury to Taron Johnson, Cam Lewis moved inside from the dime to the nickel, and this guy comes in at dime and has 2 picks. Pretty good.
I bet dime. I bet dime. We got to watch that again. And this is a good week with this one of his star running backs, Kenneth Walker, on the bench, 74 for Lump. Very nice. Hey, let's scroll all the way down because on Monday night, I had my kicker. Stanley had Barkley, and we were texting, battling to see who was going to try and stay out of the basement for the week.
You didn't finish last, and the meltdown.
I didn't.
the Meltdowns bolted right out of the basement on Monday night.
Boy, they did. They absolutely did. They said, I don't like it. Smells, it's all mildewy down here. I don't like it. I'm out of here. Jalen Hurts with a nice 18 points. Nah, it's not, it's low for him. But yeah, Stanley, I got an extra point. And then, hey, by the way, hey, Sirianni, there's only one Sirianni, and that's Dan, the superintendent of ECS. This Sirianni in Philadelphia sucks. Why do you hate field goals? You dumbass. It was in the first quarter, Johnny. It's 4th and 4 at the 8. What are you doing? It's 0-0. Get the fucking field goal, Sirianni. What a douchebag. He
Maybe
did it a
you
couple times.
Maybe you should get a kicker from an older coach who doesn't think about data.
Oh, I'm risk taking. I'm checking the metrics. I'm gonna check the. No, just check your brain and kick a field goal, especially when I own the guy. What that equals waiver claim. And then what are you doing, Hurts? He didn't need to throw the ball that deep. He threw an interception at the end. Stanley texted me 60-yarder to end the game, and I'm like, yeah, that's 10 points. It didn't happen. It was fun to think about for a minute before he threw that interception. But yeah, and then Stanley had the 2-pointer. Yeah, he had I think it was an 18-pointer. He got caught at the 2-foot line. Johnny, how many times do you think that touchdowns actually? Because it happened just in real time. You saw the play, touchdown. You never saw his left wrist hit down at the 2-inch line. The game has changed. You have to have delayed celebration. When I see a guy score, I don't even jump up anymore. I'm like, wait a minute. Did he get in? Let's check. Are there any flags? Let's see the replay. And then, okay, I can cheer now, because I hate cheering and then having it taken away, Johnny. That's not a good feeling. Let's take a look at the formerly known 6-point Sallies. Now, Johnny, I watched that Washington game. That was not a fun game for me to watch. That was not a fun game for me to watch at all. That's what happens when the Bills don't play on Sunday. You end up watching the Redskins and the Giants.
Very little I would want to watch less than Washington playing the Giants.
Oh, Lord, that's a good game in '83.
Yeah, and I didn't want to watch it then. The NFC sucked.
Yeah, well, they got a bunch of Super Bowls under their thumbs, don't they? So
they do.
That game had 7 field goals. Yes, I have a waiver claim in for, because if I'm going to watch my quarterback get blanked, and I'm going to watch my running back Brian Buttshot Robinson get blanked and have a drive stall, I'm going to have secondary celebration. I hope I get that kicker, because I'm at least going to get the 3 or 4 points after I get screwed. 5 false starts in the red zone. 5. I watched all of them. One was at the 1-yard line. That's an automatic 12 or 6 for me. Damn it. Look, I'm not panicked. Jaden Daniels played better. He just did not score any points, unfortunately, which doesn't do my team any good. He threw the ball much better. He just did not get in the end zone. Brian Buttshot Robinson had a great game, a career game. A lot of yards, a lot of carries equals a donut for us, and not the tasty kind, just the ones that you got to stare at and go, damn it. Jonathan Taylor had a much. Now, some would look, 19 points. Oh, man, my team sucks. This is the same lineup that had 64 last week. First of all, I got to look at the performance. Everybody actually played better. Taylor had over 100 yards. Had 4 targets and 2 receptions, had 0 last week. That's encouraging. Just did not get into the end zone. Green Bay's no slouch. Derrick Henry had a better game. I do believe 87 yards, a couple targets, got his 6 points. That's 2 6-pointers in a row. Keep on that pace. That's 102. We've already done that math. Then we got Devontae Adams. Much better. Very encouraged after that. Not much until the 4th quarter, but boy, did he come alive. I do believe his final line was something like 9 for 97 yards. Got me a 6-pointer. That feels good. Boy. Oh, DJ Moore. Let's talk about DJ Moore. Let's talk about DJ Moore's quarterback. Because what did we say last week? I said it. I heard guys on Sirius saying it's time to cut bait with Caleb Williams. After one game, I was like, you guys are stupid. Don't be an idiot. And Stanley did it. We checked Stanley an hour after recording. Stanley had dropped Caleb Williams. What do? God bless you, Johnny. I pick him up. And then I watch that game, and guess who's getting dropped tonight? Now
Caleb,
you can cut bait. I could have just lit $5 on fire, Johnny. But
you have.
no, I did. And I'll light them all on fire. My brother's in charge. He knows I'm good for it. I'm going to work before the end of the year. God is my witness. DJ Moore was visibly frustrated towards the end of that game because, Caleb, you can't really blame him too much because that O-line is atrocious.
I
They are
watched
a
part.
sieve.
They're terrible. I heard preseason about all the improved skill people around Caleb and how Chicago's going to be better. They are garbage. I don't
They're
care
really bad.
how many skill players you have if you got no 5 guys that can block a soul up
No, the
front.
interior of that line is terrible. He was running for his life, but even when he had an open receiver, and DJ Moore took his helmet off. He's very upset. I'm upset because I own him. He's 0 for 2. We're not happy about that. Who's the backup in Chicago? Because they're benching second players. They got a kid in Carolina, Bryce. Sit down, Bryce. Who names a black kid Bryce?
Andy
Sit
Dalton.
down. Yeah, Andy Dalton, the Red
Andy
Rifle
Dalton.
is back. God bless you, Andy. And then, of course, Jumbo Elliott has 7. See you later, Jumbo. It was fun for 2 weeks, but you're done. It's not your fault. Your coach is a moron. And then the good news is I only left 12 on the bench, but the bad news is my bench only had 12. Carl's had 42. Carl's bench outscored my entire roster significantly. I got to look at, I'm going to start making decisions. I'm going to give the kid one more try, Daniels. But you do not like getting blanked for your quarterback anytime, especially not week 2. Dak has a slow start. And by the way, is New Orleans just like a powerhouse now? What is going on? They've scored like 80 points already. Huge loss for Dallas, by the way. And that takes me down to my 19. Not happy about it, Johnny. Not happy about it at all. By the way, for those of you, for those of you watching on video, and I know none of you are, but we do it anyway. I went with kind of the full-on Gavin Newsom look tonight. My girl likes it, and what she likes, I'm gonna keep doing it. Gavin, terrible governor. Easy on the eyes, though, Johnny. Easy on the eyes. Let's take a look at the overall points.
Let's do that. And by the way, let's be aware of the fact that we're running low on time because somehow a lot of it got
stories.
Up
I had a lot of stories. I had a lot of stories.
Yeah.
A lot of stories tonight. I think the people like it. They like the little anecdotes. All right, Johnny, since you're sitting at the top in the fabled catbird seat, why don't you take us down the run of the standings in this league?
Sure. So right now, after 2 weeks, I am on top with 135. And of course, it is only 2 weeks in, so things are very tight. Steve Kears at the Southpaws is 1 point behind at 134. The Mansfield Mob, with their huge week this week, catapulted up to 3rd with 133. London's
Very
Burning,
nice.
Justin Sharp, his ode to the Clash, is at 130. So 1st and 4th are separated by 5 points. Then we go down to some young guy at 109, Ass Kickers 102. So we've got 6 teams averaging over 50 points per week.
Yeah, 50 over 51.
Yeah, and then
that's where you want to be.
And then, so that's the top half of our 12-team league. The bottom half, Stanley Ullman of the Deadheads at 92. Coleman Roach, the prodigal, comes home at 91. The 24-pointer sisters at 83. Another Dunkleman right behind at 80. And then second hind hit, tied for last. Tom Lezat of the Tom Lezats and Jeff Galley of the Meltdowns with 67 points each.
It's a tie in the basement.
It's a bad feeling when your 2-week point total is less than several people got in one of the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. I have 83 total. That's what you had this week alone. I'm happy for you. I got to pump myself up. I had to pump myself up for this podcast. Listen, years ago, Johnny, a 19-point week would have ruined my entire week.
Yes.
I would have been in a depression. I would have been angry. Now, look, it's even a bad week of fantasy is better than most things that you do in this godforsaken world. What a joy. what a joy fantasy football is. Even if you sit through 3.5 hours of the Redskins and the Giants. Good Lord. Why did
That's
I pick a
awful.
quarterback from such a shitty team? I'm picking up that kicker. I hope somebody doesn't snake him. The good news is I'm 4th in the order. So the
That's right.
meltdowns, Lezot, my brother will be picking. I don't know
Bad
if I'm
news
going to
is
get
I'm
Derek
12.
Carr.
Am I going to
Yeah.
get anybody I want? I'm going to get
You
somebody.
don't need anybody. You got your pickup last week, and his name was Baker.
I
Baker
think
Mayfield.
we should talk about some people that are available to pick up
Yes,
because
because let's talk
have
about some
you seen
injuries.
have you
You need
seen
to
the
look at those
injury list?
backups. Oh my
Have you
God,
seen
it's a
it's
litany.
Armageddon. It's
It's
Armageddon.
it's really bad. And you know
I
what?
don't know.
Just off the top of my head, I was looking, oh man, I should have drafted Cooper Kupp instead of DJ Moore. And then look at
Yeah.
that. Kupp is on IR. A lot of guys on IR. Johnny, go through them. Do you have them in front of you? Because I got them on the top of my
I
head.
don't have them in front of me, but I know that McCaffrey just went on IR.
Yes,
Puka
poor
Nakua is
Coleman.
on IR. Joe Mixon's not.
Pacheco.
Pacheco. Pacheco's on
Pacheco
IR.
is out for 6 to 8 weeks, possibly.
Yep. Yep. So huge injury. So for the people that have players that are injured, this is a crucial week on the waiver wire. But for people that are in the basement, maybe not suffering from injuries, but just off to a poor start, you got to make a move this week. You got to grab somebody. You got to grab
That's
somebody
right.
that's taken over for somebody that's injured. I think you got to look at Steele from Kansas City. You got to look at Jennings from San Francisco. I mean, I'm all about picking up guys from teams that are going to score points.
Yes.
And so I think those are two big ones. Cam Akers at Houston could be somebody to look at. Robinson at the Rams with the
Yep.
injuries they're having.
Somebody's got to catch the ball there. The Rams might just pack it right in, which I'm going to be happy about because the Bills are playing and I'm going to that game. They might have just packed up shop. 0-2. Their line is decimated. Both of their starting receivers are gone. I don't know. I'm dropping Caleb Williams. Maybe I'll pick up Derek Carr. You think Derek Carr will be available with the fourth waiver pick?
I don't know. I didn't look at who's below and what the needs are, but he could be. I mean, does Galley
Which
need?
Kubiak is this? How many Kubiaks are there? Well, I'll tell you
I
what,
bel-
Stanley Ullman, my brother needs a quarterback because he's got Tua, who's out on IR, and
so
I do believe, has Purdy.
Galley doesn't need a quarterback because he's got hurt. Lizard doesn't need a quarter. How about Galley and Lizard are in last place with Hurts and Mahomes?
Yeah, how you like that?
But your
I bet my
brother,
brother's going to pick up Carr. He's going
yeah.
to pick up Carr right under my nose. What am I?
Mm-hmm.
I refuse. I'm not living in the world where Derek Carr is a fantasy superstar yet. It's been 2 weeks. They're going to have tape. Everybody's going to watch tape on
There
those
are a couple
guys.
other good quarterbacks out there that are available.
I just don't want to pick up a quarterback who Taysom Hill is going to come in for several times a game. That's not, but man, they are launch. I think he's averaging 20 yards a pass.
Yes,
They are
he
launching
is.
it. How many
They are.
Kubiaks are there?
Will
Too many
Levis.
Kubiaks.
I got a chance to see a little Will Levis. He looked pretty good. Geno Smith is doing well. If
Yes,
you're looking
Gino
for a Q.
is doing all right, and he is available in most leagues. Johnny, how are we looking at time?
We are at the 4 minute and 30-second mark.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And
We
who's the
have time.
guy? I'm blanking on his name. The guy that Sam JP Ryan. Hey, maybe don't pick up Caleb Williams and drop Sam JP Ryan right before Pacheco goes out for 6 to 8 weeks. He could be a popular name. I don't know
He
if I
could
want
be.
him. Look, what am I
Steal.
going to do?
Steal.
I'm going to start my 3 running backs. I like my 3 running backs. But Johnny, my God, you talked about the resurgence at the running back position. Do you really want plotting 6-point guys when you got guys that are scoring 45, 36, 36, 33? Goodness gracious. That's a lot of 6-pointers I need.
Pulling up the running back stats right now. All players stats to date. We've got Alvin Kamara with 51, and then
Amazing.
Cook at 36, Barkley at 35, Braylon Allen and Brees Hall combined for 61 on my roster.
Amazing. You got to start both of them, Johnny. You're a Jets fan now.
Charbonnet at 24. Alexander Madison at 24. Dobbins at 21. And then, you're still got A-Chain at 18. That's 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I'm looking back at my draft, and now I'm thinking, boy, maybe I should have gone after A-Chain and Kyron. You got to be a little worried about Kyron. I mean, he's going to be getting more. He's going to get the rock more, but they're going to stack that box when they got no receivers, and that line is not looking good. But he scored 2 times in 2 weeks. I'm thinking, should I have pulled the chain on A-Chain with that second round pick? I don't know. You can second guess all you want. It's a long season. You know what, Johnny? There's only one running back with points on the bench or on the free agent list, and that's Jamal Williams. Nobody else has scored a point. So we're utilizing most of the talent, but like we said, there's injuries. You got to work those waiver wires. You got to work them. There's some guys with the wide receivers on the back, but I'm going to stick with my team.
That's amazing. That's that you just pulled out. I can't believe that.
Right? That's very rare. And then you look at the wide receivers. 18, 15, 12. There's some points out there to be had.
Yes.
And
yes, there are.
I only put in, if somebody I don't even know the kicker's name. What's his name? Siebert. Come on, Siebert. They carried him off the field, Johnny.
For the rest of the members of the league that I know watch this every week, Coleman Roach of the Prodigal Comes Home is looking for a running back in case anybody wants Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews.
Yeah, he put a trade offer out there. Mark Andrews for a running back. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh, God. And Stanley picking up use check. What are you doing? Why do you love tight ends and fullbacks? Oh, man. Well, I got nowhere to go but up. I was just hoping. I said, yeah, just give me 20. Just give me 20. I don't want to be a teenager. That's okay. I'm going to bounce back. I'm going to bounce back strong. I really could have very easily, between my quarterback and Brian Buttshot Robinson, had 42 between them. Easily.
I could have been somebody. I could have been a contender. I could have been a contender.
I just watched that movie recently. It really holds up. Watch it on the big screen. Watch Willem Dafoe in that Van Gogh movie. I don't know who that director is, but he's obviously a big Terrence Malick fan. I don't need to see a 15-second shot of wheat blowing in the wind. I got it. I get it. Let's move on from the wheat. Show a leaf. Oh, there's a leaf blowing in the wind. Just a couple seconds of each. We get it. He saw the world differently, Johnny. We love Willem Dafoe. We love Willem in this. What was that movie with, never mind. We don't have time for this. We don't have time to talk about movies.
We've got less than a minute. Let's finish one of these on time without.
I'm going to wrap it up, Johnny. Keep working that waiver wire. Keep staying positive. Keep on keeping on. Thanks for coming back and joining us. We'll see you next time on OG Fantasy Football. Go Bills.
Go Bills.